Right, here we are, eventually, and finally, Snowrunners. Okay, just a quick look at the first map, and the one of the first trucks you get. So, when you first find your garage, there will be a truck all smashed up outside of it. This is the truck here, and I've forgotten the name of it. It's a Lodestar. Anyway, grab it, drag it into the garage, it'll auto repair it. And the truck, 6-wheel drive, and it's got a diff lock as standard as well. And it's a good workhorse to start off with. Without this, you're really struggling, So as you can see, it can pull quite a hefty load. We've got the trailer on here, so the truck is free. You can put a fifth wheel on the back for free, and you can pick that trailer up for free. So it's cost nothing, which is ideal at the beginning of the game when you've got nothing. So what we're doing? Well, we're in interior view, heading up the hill. I've got that much weight on it that the wheels, even though they're on road tyres, are just gripping like billy-o once you start using the low range. One disadvantage of this truck is, with that amount of weight on it, it does tend to lift the front wheels up a bit, and obviously if the front wheels aren't on the ground, you can't steer. But a little bit more of that later. So far, Snowrunners, absolutely loving it. I'm waiting for the hardcore mode, because there's one problem that I've found, and that is traction. You don't seem to have the same throttle response as mudrunners. Oops, front wheels off the ground. So trying to control the throttle is a lot harder. Whether that changes with some of the newer vehicles with more power, I'm not sure yet, so I'll hold off on my condemnation and until that point. But the game's absolutely huge, looks absolutely beautiful, really engrossing. Big step up from Mudrunner, which was a fantastic game in its own right. So here we go. Here's the problem with putting too much load on this vehicle. As you can see, it's lifting the front end completely off the road, which is what it would do with that amount of load on it up that steep bankment. So you can see here, as I stop and have a look, there will be no wheels to steer with, so take your time with this, otherwise you'll just power yourself into a rock. Watching the live streams before the game was released, I was a little bit concerned about damage and fuel usage, but now after I've probably put about 10 hours in, something like that. Yeah, fuel is still an issue, as it was with Mudrunner, and damage also can be an issue if you're into your high-speed automatic driving. On the subject of driving, the interior view now is actually quite useful. They've got rid of that wild steering left to right and give us a dashboard that actually looks quite nice to look at. Now, I do tend to use the zoomed in view rather than the standard pulled out view, because it more replicates Mudrunner and I can see what's going on with the wheels better. So we're just lining up for this corner. I don't want to get hooked up with this trailer because I've not really got the power to pull it off the wall if I get it stuck on there. But this was just a simple mission of 1 metal planks, 2 wooden planks and 2 bricks. So we're just hauling in the wood and the metal at the moment from the lumber mill, the town, down to the farm, which is on the way to the garage. Some useful tips when you're coming down big hills like this. The thing can actually get away from you, especially on the smaller vehicles. So actually using the low range gears just to keep the speed down as you're coming down big inclines, because there are some big inclines in this game compared to the previous title. Just keeps it all in check. Now I am running the standard Scout. I'll post a video of it, but I've upgraded it to the big V8 engine, which was a mistake because it just uses so much fuel. It's unbelievable. Loads of power, but yeah, you've got to keep a fuel station handy. So I may be swapping back down to one of the smaller engines in that, because it does become an issue. But we'll do some rock crawling with that in the next video. I'll show you what I mean. So we're coming up on the farm shortly. We're just getting across a bit of rough ground. And back onto the solid stuff, so we can swap back up into automatic and get some speed up. That automatically turns off the diff lock. So it's a lot more controllable at high speed compared to Mudrunner. As he says, heading for a lamppost, well, telegraph pole, and then some rocks. Back onto the rough stuff. I've noticed the tree stumps, some of them aren't really registering. They're there, but they're not really hooking the truck up. But again, it's just come out. It's a relatively small company that's made it, and as with Mudrunner, there'll be a lot of kind of updates and patches just to add things in and fix issues. Like I said, we've got the hardcore mode coming up, which I think will get rid of a bit of this traction control issue that's going on, which is making it a bit too easy and a bit too hard when it comes to when you're in the mud, because you haven't really got the finite control on the throttle. They're also patching in the steering wheel. They've said that the end of development was done on the lockdown because of COVID-19, so stuff got put on the back burner just to get the game out, which is fair enough. There's no glaringly game breaking bugs. But here we are at the farm. So we drop these off and then I go on to grab the bricks. So I hope you enjoyed that little trundle down the road, and I'll throw up a bit of a more cross-country thing next. So adios.